Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I have to apologize for not making any videos lately. I'm still in Australia at the moment, and we really haven't had a chance to go traveling at all since the global pandemic. And I think a lot of people have been put in the same situation, whereas they want to travel but they can't due to lockdowns and everything else that's going on. So hopefully that is going to change in the next couple of weeks. My partner and I, Asia, will be traveling to the Philippines in the next couple of weeks, and we will be taking you guys with us. One of my subscribers asked me the question, can you give me some tips on what to do when we get to the Philippines? So I've thrown together a few items, a few tips to help you when you get to the Philippines, what to do and what to be mindful of. And one of the first things I would suggest anybody does as soon as they go to the Philippines is you have to respect the people, respect the locals. Filipinos are lovely people. They're probably some of the best, kindest, friendliest people you'll ever encounter in the world. And I've traveled around the world. I've traveled into many different countries, and I really haven't found anybody that's so open or a culture that's so, open-minded and friendly to say, hey, how you going? How are you? So don't be afraid of the locals. The locals are quite happy and friendly to help you along the way. But one of the things I would suggest is do not swear in public. One of the things that they say it's a big no-no over there is actually swearing in public, because it is an insult to them and they don't want to lose face, especially in public. So don't be disrespectful. One of the things I would say is don't be one of those loudmouth tourists that get over there, and start a fight, start an argument over, something as trivial as getting charged an extra 100 pesos for a taxi cab ride, say, or they'll classify you as getting foreigner prices. Let's face it, this is a poor country. So if you get in charge, say, an extra 100 pesos for a cab ride, that's like an extra couple of dollars. Let it go. You're there on holidays, you're there to have a vacation. So don't be too hung up on getting ripped off. Okay, so if they want to charge you 1,000 pesos, then say, you know what, thanks very much, I'm going to go to the next cab. Just move along, but don't be one of those loudmouth tourists that automatically people get drawn attention to. And the object is to have a good time, have a good vacation, and just blend in, because you don't want to become a target for thieves or anything like that, or any issues that you may get into. For crying out loud, you don't want to end up in a situation where you get into a massive fight, and the first thing that's going to happen is the police are going to get involved and you're going to find your ass in jail in a foreign country. And I know no one wants to be in that situation. So, be respectful for the locals. Don't get out of hand, and just mind your manners, because you're in a foreign country. Don't expect every country to be the same way as it is in your own country. Now, my second tip for you would be, as soon as you get off the plane into Manila, first thing I would do is definitely get a SIM card with data on it. You need the data to do your Wi-Fi, to do your internet and everything else that's there. So as soon as you get to the airport, my suggestion is, not everybody does this, but my suggestion is get yourself a SIM card, get yourself a data at the airport as soon as you get there, because at least that way you're loaded and ready to rock and roll, especially before you get to the hotel, because a lot of hotels don't have those facilities, so you won't be able to buy a SIM card or anything like that, and you'll end up having to go to a sari-sari store or some sort of local mini stop or 7-Eleven to try to get a SIM card, and the prices will vary, or have to go to a shopping center, in order to get that SIM card. So save the inconvenience, get yourself a SIM card straight away. There's two different telecommunication companies over there, Smart and Globe. Some providers actually work better in the cities than they do in the provinces, and vice versa. So my suggestion is, when you go get the SIM card, ask the telecom provider to say, hey, how is it going to be? What's the best signal for, say, if I'm going to travel to Samar or to Boracay or to Palawan or places like that. So definitely ask for advice and try to get the appropriate card. If you can't, get both cards. Get one SIM for Globe, one SIM for Smart. They're not very expensive. So if you find that you're having signal issues in one area, swap the card over. You'll probably find that it'll work better. So just make sure you get yourself a card before you start your trip. my next tip, when you're at the airport and you've gotten your SIM card and you're ready to explore the Philippines, you'll get outside and the first thing you'll see is a whole range of taxis and buses. Now, I recommend do not go to one of these taxi cab areas that say, hey, mister, I've got a cab right here for you. Jump the line. And right away, they'll take you to another area across the street, and they'll have a whole range of taxis there, and they will charge you 1,000 pesos to get to your hotel. Now, you'll skip the line, which is great, but if you're not willing to wait in line at the normal cab rank, then you can take these taxi cabs, but they're charging you like 5 to 10 times the amount of price that you normally would pay. Because I've done it once before when I first got to the Philippines, jumped the queue, went straight into one of these taxi cabs. You know, it cost me like, I think it was 900 pesos to get to the hotel. It's only like a 15-minute, 20-minute drive. And then on the way back from the hotel back to the airport, it cost me 120 pesos. So big price difference, but hey, that's the price I pay for being a foreigner in a new land. So, you know, it is what it is. You can't do much about it. But what I would suggest is download an app called Grab, and this Grab app you can actually book like an Uber, basically this Filipino version of Uber, and you can actually set up a time, and they'll give you a car that'll come and pick you up, and they'll charge you at appropriate rates. And that'll save you a little bit of time if you don't want to wait in line at the cab rank. But if you go across to the other side of the airport, you will see a Grab taxi, like a Grab rank there, that you can actually wait in line and actually get a Grab and, you know, and get a Grab back to the hotel. So that's one of the things I would suggest. But yeah, don't get hustled. Don't get swindled by these cab drivers that want you to skip the line. But also make sure when you're getting into a cab, another thing that I just remembered about, when you're going around in Manila or you're going around the Philippines, don't get a cab that has a broken meter, because a lot of the times you'll get a cab and they'll say, okay, do you have the meter on? They'll go, no, sorry, it's broken. Just say, thank you very much, move on to the next one, because a lot of times they'll just give you an estimate, you know, to go from point A to point B, and majority of the time if you're a foreigner, they're going to say 300 pesos, 500 pesos, you know, 800 pesos, you know, and you might not think much of it at the time, but you can get ripped off because a lot of times they're charging you 5 times the normal rate. So if you want to get hustled and you don't want to wait the time, then yeah, go for it, man. Like I said, it's only, you know, it could be an extra 10 bucks or something like that on your trip that you don't mind spending because you're on vacation. But, you know, if you want to be a little bit thrifty, then by all means, always ask for a cab with a meter, because that will save you some money. Okay, my third tip would be, don't be afraid to ask for help. Filipinos are very, very friendly. So don't be afraid to go up to somebody and say, hey, I'm trying to find this location, or do you know where this is, or I'm trying to find this particular store. Filipinos are very, very helpful. Like I said, they will guide you the right way. Majority of the time, if you find a local, like a local security guard in a shopping center somewhere, or a guard outside of a bank, or a mall, definitely hit them up, ask them and say, hey, you know, I'm lost, I need to find this. And I'm telling you, they will guide you the right way. Just be courteous, remember, be respectful, and you know, they'll give you the shirt off their backs if they have to. You know, that's how kind and generous Filipinos are. So, you know, make sure that, you know, you ask them courteously and just say, hey, I'm just trying to find this place. And you'll find that they will give you a helping hand. Okay, my next tip would be, if you're traveling to an island, say for example like Palawan or Boracay Island, and you're planning to explore the island, one of the first things you need to do is respect the wildlife. Respect the wildlife. Don't go out there swimming with whales and, you know, touching them and doing all this crazy stuff with turtles in the sea, because trust me, you will get hooked on the environment, and you know, you'll be feeling really happy about seeing these wonderful creatures, and you want to do things with them, and you'll find that, you know, there are wildlife laws out there, so be careful and, you know, don't overstep your boundaries. But also, when you're doing these types of tours, don't be afraid to take one of these, you know, one of these tours that one of these hawkers give you. I say, hey, you know, we're going to do snorkeling, we're going to do jet skiing, we're going to do this, do that, and it's going to cost you, say, 1,000 pesos for the day, you know. That's actually not a bad idea to do, because This will be like a guided tour, and they'll help you out as much as they can to get you through all the different events, and they'll have it all spaced out, and they'll provide lunch and all that other stuff. So definitely enjoy the experience and try it out. Another thing I would suggest is don't restrict yourself. Go out, go to different places, explore. You're there on vacation. Go and see the monuments. Go and see the historical buildings. Go and see the little marketplaces like Baclaran or the Visoria or Green Hills. Go out for the day, explore, look, search for different things that you've never tried before. Eat different foods. That's what you're there on vacation for. So enjoy it. The Philippines has a lot to offer. They really have a lot of good cuisine there. They got a variety of different styles of food from different areas, locations around Asia. They're very helpful, and just take photos or videos and enjoy your vacation, because it's a new experience for you. So don't restrict yourself to just the main city areas and just a local resort. Go out and try some of the spas and some of the local beaches, or go to one of the back alley marketplaces and see what foods they sell, or the wet markets, and just enjoy the experience. Engulf yourself in their culture, because you'll learn a lot from them, and they're very open to foreigners if they're interested in their culture. So if you ask them questions, say, hey, I'm trying to find out about this person or this building, or why do you guys do that? They're going to answer you quite honestly, and they're going to tell you about it, and they go, wow, this guy's really interested in what we do every day. So they'll describe the foods that you're eating, they'll describe the things that they're doing at the present moment and part of their culture. So do it, enjoy it, explore, be open to new things. And I know you're probably going to hate what I'm about to say, but you're going to find karaoke in there, in some of the local bars or clubs, or even like corner vendors and stuff. Try it. Have a bit of fun. Even in the shopping centers, they sing karaoke. You can go to a department store where they sell karaoke machines, and they have sales assistants that just there to sing and try to sell you the karaoke. Experiment, try it. You could be the worst singer in the world. Trust me, I'm not the best either. But if you go to do it, you'll have a bit of fun, and they'll enjoy, that you've given it a try at least. So, just try the experience. You'll enjoy it. Trust me, I've had a great time in the Philippines, and I want you to enjoy it as well. So, have fun. Now, this next tip I know is going to sound funny, but let's face it, you're in the Philippines, you're on vacation. So one of the things you should do, and I recommend that you do this, is to always smell your best. Because the last thing you want to do is walk around on a vacation stinking up the place because you're sweaty and hot, it's humid, and your personal hygiene's down the toilet, and you're gonna have to ask for directions, or you have to go and speak to people. And the first impressions they're gonna get is, oh my God, this foreigner smells, and you don't want that type of first impression. So always make sure that you have really good hygiene, because you're going to be sweating throughout the day, because it's always hot in the Philippines. And also, don't look like a bum. Don't look like a hobo. Make sure your clothes are pressed, and at least neat and tidy, so when you go out in public, you kind of look okay, But you don't want to go out looking like Diamond Jim with gold and jewelry and, Versace bracelets and sunglasses and things like that. Don't stand out. Blend in with the locals, Walk around in a t-shirt and shorts and flip-flops, Eat where the locals eat. Just blend in, because the last thing you want to do is walking around like you're Diamond Jim, and you're full of gold and full of rings, and you stand out, and the thieves are going to look at you and go, whoa, that's a target right there. I'm going to pickpocket that guy as soon as he gets out, somewhere that I can have access to him or something. So don't put yourself in that position. Don't. This is a poor country. Don't try to make yourself look like you're full of money. Just blend in with the locals, and you'll have an enjoyable time. On the subject of going on a tour, another thing you should be mindful of is always check the weather forecast. So if you're going to book a tour, say for example with one of these tour guides where they're going to take you out for the whole day, double check the weather forecast and ask them that if there is bad weather and they have to cancel, can they reschedule at no cost? Because sometimes they'll slug you and say, look, we can't travel today, we can do it tomorrow, but it might cost you an extra 100 or 200 pesos. I mean, it's not a big deal because it's only a couple of bucks at a time, but you know, always ask the question. Comes in handy. You know, if you're going to be doing these types of tours, just make sure that you don't overstretch yourself, because the weather can change very, very quickly over there, and you don't want to put yourself in a position where, you know, you're really, really worried and, you know, oh my goodness, you know, how am I going to get back to the surf? Or, you know, they'll normally take good care of you, but, you know, just be aware of the weather. You know, you're going to be out in the wildlife and doing all these wonderful tours and hiking and so forth, so you just want to make sure that you're safe and make sure that the weather is going to be, you know, favorable to the day. Also, when you're doing that type of situation, if you're going out hiking, make sure you always go with a tour guide. Don't go exploring by yourself, because the last thing you want to do is end up getting lost, or you'll end up slipping and hurting yourself, or falling off a side of a cliff or a mountain somewhere. So always take a tour guide with you. They will provide you the safest path that you need to get from point A to point B. So try not to explore on your own, you know, especially do something hazardous or dangerous, especially if the weather is going to change. It could rain, you know, in the wet season, so you may have wet paths or wet hiking paths, and, you know, if you're in thongs or sandals and stuff like that, you could end up slipping and falling down the side of a cliff or mountain. You don't want to put yourself in that situation when you're on vacation, so be mindful, use a tour guide, and always check the weather. Okay guys, well those are just a few of the tips that I've got for you when you first hit the Philippines. I hope it's been helpful to you. You know, if you got any questions, by all means, comment in the comment section there, or flick me an email and I'll be happy to help you answer any questions that I can. But I need to make a shout out first to Nick's Philippine Journey channel on YouTube. Hi Nick, yep, he's been very helpful with a lot of the information, so please check out his channel. Also Magman's channel, he's also a nice guy that lives in the Philippines at the moment now, so you can check out his channel. And also hi to this is Dave's channel, because he's given me a shout out recently. So brother, thank you so much. I really appreciate the love, and shout out to you, my man. I can't wait to meet up with you one day and have a few drinks and maybe have a puff of a cigar or two with you. So brother, take care. Thank you so much for watching the channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'll be posting some new videos soon. So if you want to check them out, by all means, I'm here to help you. So enjoy the rest of your day and take care. Much love and peace.